Okay, cool. So here's our. Oh, I gotta change the size a little bit. Okay, so here's our 1000 Elo game. Um, Here we have King Arthur versus the GGG, which is an alt of mine, um, which only plays Grim, which versus Olaf is pretty crazy. So Grammy Grim Gang is currently 10-15. I have 28 games played with that. Um, it's really fun. I recommend uh, low tier alts for people that are looking for a challenge. Versus King Arthur. King Arthur has about 55 games played. Currently at 976, but I've seen them up into the 10,000 in the 1,000 range before. Solid player, solid Star Wars reference on their card. So, all right, so let's talk about Grimm's game plan here versus Olaf. Um, the game plan has to be like pick up an early lead because in the late game you just get destroyed. Um, Super CO power is like a great weapon for Grim just to sit on it and repeatedly threaten different things with it. Um, and that's what you'll see me do here. So yeah, let's get into it. Replay. Oh, I'm already in the replay. Dope. Okay, so does this look good? It does, okay. Okay, first things first, we capture our bases. Forward capture is pretty popular on this map. You capture here, and then you kind of think about capturing here. You could go here and capture the port. You could go here and try to capture this, but this usually belongs to the 2-base side. But yeah, this is like two solid properties you get right away. It's high funds, so oh no, it's actually standard, isn't it? No, it's high funds. It's high funds, so capture phase is extra important. So yeah, this is kind of what a lot of people do on this map. A lot of people go back capture. That's what I do. The idea here is you go here, here, airport, capture, T-capture over here. It's a pretty clean idea that usually works out pretty well. No surprises so far. So first vehicle is a tank over here. It kind of slows down some captures in the back, so we'll see how important this tank ends up being. I make the same move though, so it's like any capture delay that they feel here, I'll feel in the same way. So far, King Arthur has mirrored me pretty closely. In fact, almost exactly. An important idea here is to move forward with your tank while building a tank behind it to support it. That way, it has some reinforcements right away. I do build an artillery on the 2-base side pretty early on. That's just kind of an idea that came to me through Hellraider, who suggested that I need to build more artillery. So I've just been trying that out in my games and seeing how it works. So far, pretty good success with it. Oh, so here I missed this. I did an infantry interrupt. Grim is really great at this stuff, bringing the infantry all the way down to 3 HP. So it'll take 4 more turns for that infantry to finish capture. So as opposed to 5, where it only takes 2. So it does leave me up for a tank interrupt here. But my idea here is like if I slow this capture down, then I also slow this capture down and like totally deny it. So it ends up being worth it from a money perspective because I delay this property by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they never get this property. Okay, so yeah. This property denial actually is, they never capture it throughout the whole game. So, that adds up to like a medium tank in 5 turns, or, well, I guess a medium tank in 8 turns. So that, yeah, it really does add up in high funds. So going for these kind of suicide type attacks is like a seriously good strategy. Another thing that I learned from watching Hellraider play. And luckily there's a silo here too, so I don't take that much counterattack damage. Okay, so we see the first medium tank from Olaf here into triple tank, which makes sense. Kind of like a way of establishing it, like slowing this front down by building something that I can't interact with, that I can't hit hard at all. I also do interrupt here. I interrupt with this infantry and then block the capture. This is something that someone asked about earlier. This infantry was capturing, and I decided to interrupt here. My idea here is I can capture this city pretty quickly anyways, but if I deny this capture, it'll deny it for longer. So that's kind of the idea here. I deny this city and then still have this city. That's something that I can capture pretty easily, whereas this one's hard for the opponent to capture. And here I build another tank to cover this tank, so prevents them from jumping in and taking this tank out. Oh, why did I do this? Okay, so these 2 tanks jump in and kill off this infantry completely while capturing here. I think that was the idea. Yeah, the idea is I want to kill off this infantry, bait the tank into attacking these 2 tanks so that this infantry can capture here. And this capture is for free. This one, assuming the tank is gonna respond to here, this infantry captures for free. So this is like the idea between that interrupt. Like interrupting at high funds is like there's such a high skill ceiling for it. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. So that's part of why I showed this, is because I think it's like a good way of demonstrating a few ideas in the opening game. So I kill another tank here and then join cap. So this is like a tank for a tank trade. I guess it makes sense because I'm trying to get to CO power charge and then just kind of sit there. The medium tank is a little late, but you gotta build what you gotta build. My T-copter was a little late here because probably of the medium tank. I won't go into too much detail, but Yeah, the medium tank did delay the T-copter one turn. Well, where were we? Okay, so here's this turn. I'm happy with like more small exchanges like this because it gets me closer to CO power. Okay, so now I have CO power. Now is the time where Grim has to like really turn on the jets and threaten as much as he can uh, while not dying. So here I kind of want to stalwart a little bit because my CO power will help me through. Okay, nice little attack here, cleaned up some tanks. And then with 2 artillery, I like really locked this position down. I had to think really hard about this position. There's like a lot going on. Because you can do like tank kill here. You can do B-copter kill, infantry tank kill, anti-air, but then the B-copter can hit the B-copter. So like there's 2 anti-B-copter things and you can't hit them both basically. That's the core of the position. So they decided to go straight for my B-copter, but all 3 of these units are going to die. I've also been enjoying a pretty good income lead because of my sacrifices. So I'm in Super CO power range, and so is Olaf. So that means that my exchanges have been going my way. If you look at the gold differential, I'm at like uh, 1.5 times King Arthur's gold right now. So things are going my way, but I'm about to get hit by with a really big snowy Super CO power. So there's Winter Fury, which equalizes things a bit. It actually came earlier than I anticipated. Like on the previous turn, I did a lot of calculations to make sure that he couldn't hit me for too much, but somehow I got the number wrong, and he ended up being able to Winter Fury. Otherwise, I would have kept this medium tank on this city and this artillery on this city, stuff like that. This artillery, no, but like there would have been some things that I would have healed immediately had I correctly computed the Winter Fury potential. So here I actually hold on to Super CO power because I really want it to count. And so I kind of realized that these 2 medium tanks and the Neo tank are going to start battering down my HQ. So I build heavy tanks instead of just from this base, which kind of slowly wrap around. I build heavy tanks from this base too, so I can consolidate forces in the center. I was considering pushing down earlier, but like down and then smacking the base, but that's just too far away from the main action. And like I was at too big of a risk from having my HQ being sniped. So King Arthur goes through some moves, and now really put some pressure on my HQ. So this turn took. I thought I had it lost, and then I discovered a really nice idea, which is you. Well, let's just see what happens. So you throw in this medium tank to kill this tank with the idea that this infantry and this infantry will hit this infantry and this infantry. You want to, oh sorry, the other infantry. You want to attack these 2 infantry so that they can't start capturing your HQ is my idea. So I do like a half attack there, trying to prevent them from jumping on my HQ. Build a bomber, which is a little scary versus Olaf, but figure, there's a lot of heavy tanks here, so I think the bomber's going to be okay. So King Arthur attacks him pretty hard, does a fair bit of damage. But unfortunately for him, there's no snow available. Otherwise, actually, CO power would be pretty brutal here. Instead, what happens is I get to dust off the old knuckles with the Haymaker. And one-shot that infantry. One-shot at medium tank. One-shot an infantry. One-shot a tank. One-shot an anti-air. So now the bomber is completely uncontested. And just sort of like collapse in on the position with everything I have. So yeah, another Super CO power from Olaf is around the corner, but I think I did enough damage if he just decided to resign here. Memory serves. Yeah, okay, and then King Arthur resigns here. It could have been played out longer. I think if you like the medium tank being out of range is a big deal. I think you just like kind of retreat Super CO power and then regroup. Being behind 8K is pretty big, so it's understandable why they resigned. I think the real problem here with King Arthur's attack was these tanks were too far away. Like here, these tanks need to be more active. Like sitting on this city doesn't make any sense. This tank needs to be out here threatening more things in my position. And then way over here, just stay out of neo tank range, and then these tanks would be here. And then this move is not as feasible because tanks can come in and one-shot these artillery. So yeah, that was a mistake on King Arthur's part. But yeah, I hope that kind of showed how Grim can kind of work if you outplay them pretty hard in that early game. Because if you don't do that, then it's not a very fun match. Cool. So yeah, that's the GGG. Hopefully you enjoyed my analysis there.